increase the order. And this is a very aspirational 2 and C, so somewhere I'll end, and then Christina will be with the rest. All good? The double turn argument. First of all, we're not saying that you were liberated, that all animals are liberated. Our argument is that the ballot becomes a vehicle for liberation, which is a fundamental link differential argument. As I went out and said that everyone's liberated, rather than the fundamental question of your juxtaposition with the one I see, which I think is a link differential argument that takes out most of the offense. The Bochard and capitalism have the same goal in mind, to break down the systems and sides that sustain capitalism arguments, and structural revolution in those sides are necessary. So those two are simply aligned, that the way that we approach liberation shall be one of individual satisfaction, which is the placebo argument made by David Davis, rather one of engagement in systemic analysis. And I think something that Bochard recruits, and we are winning foundational plans by both of them, are aligned their goals and their strategies. It's good that we're uncertain. Negation is a process of question that requires ideological flux. We're still students forming opinions, so it's conditional ethics and requires uncertainty. Turns the case Charlotte 12. Something proud happens that shows that some anarchists self-defense that epitomizes normative whiteness. White America raised out of the belief that Ruby Surreal David shifts the comfort zone, knowing that he does not know that uncertainty is knowing. He does not know coalition across the neighborhood might benefit from epistemic uncertainty across the privilege. Coalition work is some of the most dangerous. The privilege might appear to embrace epistemic uncertainty as indication of effectiveness, rather than epistemic uncertainty highlights the unnecessary independence of the privilege and oppressive struggles. Although just punishment is the worst option because you try to punish us for small contradictions. Every strategy has inherent contradictions in different strategies and different authors, which then we should default to the negative. Now, on to the next argument. They say we need to sacrifice the good for the collective. 2 actions. 1 is a link differential argument. They assume that we are status quo educational models. That is not what we are. We are a social revolution model. Some point A is our McLaren evidence. And he said we have to change the way that education operates instead of one of a profit-driven motive, which sustains special education programs like the one that talks about. Instead, we shift this value way, how we challenge neoliberalism, how we build models here in education space like this one, which is what we have to make keyword as why it's necessary to form those models of education first as priority. Some point B is our drove as the last piece of evidence. What I see indicates that educators must start from a pedagogy of neoliberalism that trade-off for the forms of individuality. There is a tangible trade-off established that you cannot vote for a pseudo-permutation for what I see because those from education necessarily require a research methodology that starts with the positionality of class analysis first. Now, we must forefront those pedagogies as the first second answer to the sacrifice that says that we turn and solve the case. The idea of social education, we control your things. Private corporations are taking over social education now and pushing the needy kids into profit mills that discard their needs. That's a time frame issue for the alternative. We should build models that prevent escalating eradication of students. Only radical reformation capital can change the structures of the one I see that makes the one I see a brave reality. Osgood 14, we are seeing the pattern of defunding, claiming crisis, and calling for privatization of social education in Chicago. Our unelected Board of Education recently voted to expand contracts for organizations to meet the growing needs of children with special needs. This move is nothing new in Illinois. Private operators have loving sounding weapons, equipment, horrible, poorly run warehouse for students with special needs. They are very, very expensive. School budgets continue to shrink. Social education services, very private services indeed, are the first to go. Students with special needs, we know the biggest liabilities in the school success. And of course, we know the success in today's world is defined by test scores. Schools are coming with new ways, creative ways to exclude or push out the needy students. It is what innovation means. Count me out. The special education, especially in low-income neighborhoods, has never been funded for success. Public schools, education and services are being intentionally drastically unfunded, leading to horrible working conditions drastically. Decrease the educational opportunity of these kids with special needs are labeled as the failures. The inequities, educational opportunity will increase privatization of special education, increase what if all schools were fully funded to meet all kids' needs? What if there wasn't every person instead of push out the needs? Kids provide a frame issue for alternative as well as forefront socialism as our vision for what possibility can happen because the funding makes it possible for the what is to happen in the first place. Just heard the case arguments now. Some teachers are assholes. However, the most majority of them are trying to fit their quota or fit their test score arguments, which is kind of an argument that they have perverse incentives forced by capitalism. So only challenging those consumptions that create a crowd out of the kids that need the help the most, but they are pushed to the back burner because of the idea of filling test scores. That's why the exclusion foundationally happens. That they're labeled at risk to write them off from their own liabilities as the teacher themselves to make themselves look better in the school system, so they get promotions, they get those for perverse incentives. So I think in terms of case, the two dissads to the one methodology in combination with our negative strategy. First is the novel. We're not saying that you are writing a novel. Our argument is that the one happens over and over again in every debate ad infinitum. It becomes the replication of the same desire for a quick fix, i.e. a 3-0 for KCK is exactly the problem. The critical placebo, where we structure debate as of itself instead of debate as a revolutionary generator for how we can use our ideas outside of debate space, which formulates a fundamental framing issue. That's why it's impossible to have a combination of both. That's like Jay-Z says, on to the next one, on to the next debate, and we can possibly talk about some of the space of rewriting of the quote-unquote novel that happens over and over again. It's debate for debate, where it's only debating for the next win, the debate for the next win, that never becomes a replication of 2-hour chunks that creates a temporary refuge in a hurricane of oppression capitalism. When we form a structural analysis, second dissent is a survival strategy. I think it's a terrible trade-off between our drug and the focus on individual total spirits creates a trade-off. It creates a form of makes the perfect enemy the good that we can never engage in those larger macro structures. So we always push those down. We always defer those fundamental questions, which means that we only focus on the individual at the expense of the collective, which forms a framing issue by the possible engagement both of them. They say the prison pipeline argument, impact framing issue, prioritize globalized violence over instant localized violence. That's the only way to break the cycle of guilt and resentment. You're right, we're not interested in the holder than out approach of two debaters from NYU calling you capitalists. However, our argument is that we have a constructive method for collective engagement that principle about being endorsement of identity status. Now they further just humanize the prison system, which we link to their library of as neoliberalism is the root cause of the oppressed underclass that throws people in the prison pipeline because of a profit incentive. Voting 13 neoliberalism breach the prison and criminal justice and neoliberalism involving fundamental shift in welfare, criminal justice and clients are dumped and their deficient means of undeserving poor criminal underclass that requires supervision, surveillance, and managed welfare state is a carceral state occupation that become essential police and prison system by abandoning any vision of constantly reforming the offender instead of prioritizing punishment, socialization, and stringent supervision. With all these neoliberal, the focus of supervision draws inspiration from the United States, extends toward the life of the poor, especially those on welfare. The social group from these prisoners artificially drawn in the age of deregulation and inequality in the poor is increased that they demonize the subject to penal supervision as ex-convicts. The neoliberal approach, genocide and rehabilitation replaced with bureaucratic, managerial, model box taking the presidential complex, defending fraud, and neoliberalism downward to the prison. Transition is shapes institutions and practices based on fear, punishment, control, the mass criminalization of the poor is the face of neoliberalism. The welfare state will be replaced by a penal state, and treatment of the poor will resemble punitive, condemning, and supervised by parole officers. And the next argument is that we erase intersectionality. Arguments that we deny identity rather is a question of what we forefront as our educational model take outside. Do you want to see when you vote affirmative is not change the fundamental equilibrium or the structures in place that make the possibility of what the want to see story possible in the first place, which kind of proves our argument that even if you agree with the affective gestures of the want to see, you should still vote negative to endorse the strategy that we have proposed that can extend outside intersectionality fragments of movements against capital is to focus on discrete differences that the system of class oppression underlying them. Shunara and Prasad 14 intersectionality relates the level of description intersectional politics proposed at the same risk of fragmentation, moralist division as previous form, elevation of subject experience as a resource of understanding strength of living and the intersection of oppression and resistance content to remain at the level of experience rather than to understand the sources of oppression that describes the marks and malls, moving beyond the recognition of the complexity of dual life abstraction, looking for sources of oppression that apply the insights gained through abstraction of concrete realities. Intersectionality relegates class to just one of the series of oppressions. This misses out on the degree of class capitalism. It is the potential basis for people of intersection oppression can occur, but regardless of the working class, the universal class, because everyone in the working class is the same, but because of all people share a relationship with capitalism, forming unique force of power to abolish class society. They say we have to create meaning for ourselves. This is a to their role of ballot. The role of ballot from the one I see was the idea that the ballot is key from process to one I see that it is key for Brian because Brian likes debate, and this is the NDT. This makes debate for debate's sake only and sacrifice the potential that can extend outside. The one I see creates an economy of revenge rather than politics and collectivism. If you, for example, if you vote negative, you can deny their story and deny their efficacy and their meaning building. That turns the ballot into a passive endorsement of any sentence. Every time they push back and says it proves our point that the ballot, if it's meaningless, and it's not meaning anything to endorse the one I see, we should endorse the educational model that we have proposed as a good starting point. This is a result on dissent to their role about because debate was an endpoint, not a starting point. As explained in the novel dissent ends in 12. We didn't think about what's at stake here. The effects include the vanishing of the moral currency of the victim, the insidious combination of victimhood, all this course because both the guilt and the privilege and result on the deal, the guilt for reinforced and imperative of benevolence, polarizes by locking categories and blinds the ages. Many fail to see this as assaulting those that enterprise others not to be held the same responsibility as those who have no means equal in power and advantage. We are all responsible for the world. One can be attached to supporting statutes between the result and gives birth to values. Result acts of the righteous, critiquing power, this is fixed in economy with revenge rather than emancipation. Its action is a self-centered fraction. Suffering because a virtue invested in certification, the verification produces separate individuals with the guilt lost by the ethical response. Turns out to be responsible. They say what I see was always already okay, a framing issue. They have criticized capitalism, but have not prevented a strategy for changing capitalism. Only alternative form of a strategy that has the possibility of breaking down. So criticism is insufficient, which is kind of our argument as why the universal space is not a space of criticism, rather one for creating revolutionary strategies. They say we're becoming a whitewash classroom. The class system is the foundational stage from which all other pressures of the that's our Shemara evidence are right above. Also the one I say McLaren evidence, and he said we do not deny identity, rather it's a financial question of privileging one identity over the rest. That's our case argument. The role of ballot to analyze the organizations against capitalism is a financial starting point to the financial and impact the criticism that way. 2.8 billion people live on less than $2 a day, and 250 million children are child slaves, which is one of the structural violence impact that extends outside of the right. That's why we have the challenge of globalized violence, so we don't become insular and focus on individuals. They say commodification is inevitable. You want to see performance in this debate space is a unique form of commodification. That means that it creates the novel heroes explained above. They say we have to create accessible meaning. Capitalism fractures identity. It makes it impossible to create meaning itself. That creates a form of alienation. Explained in a McLaren evidence. It makes it impossible to create this form of meaning building in the first place. Those communities are always fractured by capitalism because capitalism interjects and destroys possibility for any form of engagement. They say the one that sees victim blaming. No, that's a link to the novel argument. I've already explained that above as why you're not saying that you are writing a novel, rather that the one I see enters in the mode of novel building.
What is it? Impact?
So, like, arguments that capitalism, that capitalism hurts globalized people. 2.8 billion people live on $2 a day. Like 250 million children are child slaves, and then maquiladoras or like sweatshop workers.
Okay, child slaves, maquiladoras, and sweatshop workers. What are you doing for them inside of the university?
So argument is precisely that in the university space, instead of criticizing things, we should build models. Or
You
do
should
structural
build models?
analysis.
What model did you build? When did you liberate the maquiladoras?
Our argument for the McLaren evidence is that as educators, we should privilege a curriculum that
Oh, you're an
starts-
educator over me? You a teacher? You can't even look me in the eye when you're talking to me about these lessons.
Not-
How are you educating me?
I'm not educating you. I'm
Oh,
saying
so-
the
okay, so I don't get your
the
education.
judges should privilege a model of education that starts with capitalism.
That starts with capitalism. Yes,
That's what I'm
okay. But how does the ballot act as the vehicle through which that model of education is
The
advanced?
ballot endorses that form of scholarship.
It endorses that form of scholarship. So how does that not link to any of your dissents to the ballot?
Argument is that for you, right,
Just for me,
for the 1AC,
for the 1AC.
right, the ballot,
Fuck the 2AC, fuck Anthony.
no, the 1AC performance.
The one black man in the room is fuck
obviously
him?
is what I'm saying. Come on, right? Our argument is that it is necessary to start from that positionality of collective action as a starting point.
Of collective action. What about the 1AC precludes collective action? What was not collective about our
So
whole
all these arguments,
strategy
that's
when
why-
Anthony and me come in here and engage these spaces?
I understand all the arguments, the link arguments, for example, the novel argument, the Truro argument, the intersectionality arguments, are all reasons why the 1AC may have good intentions, but the consequences of those effects, when placed in a larger structure, cannot translate into spill-up politics.
You mean, let's talk about Giroux. Giroux's a teacher who works in the university setting. What has Giroux particularly done to affect the conditions of the 1AC or maquiladoras?
His argument is that we have to build models as educators, right? The judges are all educators.
Yes, and what models has he built?
Those models of how to challenge capitalism, how we can protest and build these struggles together.
The
That
protest?
is our argument.
The protest stop the maquiladoras?
Yeah, we should do these things, yes. we
Why aren't
should
you
do social
protesting that? Why aren't you out there
See,
protesting?
that's clearly.
You over here trying to win ballots for the
The
NDT.
McLaren evidence makes this very, very, very clear. It says that we must build models today that can translate outside, but we
I
must start
get
from
that.
positionality education.
What is the model? You say start from capitalism. What does that
We
look
should learn about
like?
things. For example, the 1999 Seattle protests against the WTO.
Why
Those things we should learn about.
Why debate? Why is debate key?
The McLaren evidence and the Drew evidence, I think, form a good answer to all these questions.
Talk about educational
What part are they
spaces
talking
and
about?
training.
As educators-
The national debate tournament or competitive policy debate?
That people should endorse templates or blueprints for challenging capitalism as a starting point for challenging large schemes.
Why was that not the 1AC?
The 1AC may have criticized capitalism. I agree with that.
Right.
But just as I talked about
you have
myself-
not created a template. No, you've not created. You may have criticized capitalism, but everyone can criticize capitalism.
Right.
You never created a template to challenge capitalism.
A
Which is what the
template.
alternative has done.
And what does the template look
We
like?
should have a socialist vision on the horizon, that we should build models of movements today that can extend outside, that we can challenge the structures and systems of capitalism that exist
Gotcha.
outside too.
Thank you.